Hello, and welcome to this demo on optical character recognition, or OCR method. In this demo, we'll see how we can use OCR methods to retrieve text when we don't have access to UI elements, like in Citrix and virtual environments. In such scenarios, image recognition is a solution that we can think of. In this use case, we'll mimic working in a Citrix environment by automating a simple movie search in an RPA challenge website. To do so, we'll use an Edge browser instance that runs without the installed UiPath extension. Before creating a process, let's disable the UiPath Studio extension from our Edge browser, so that we'll not have access to UI elements, which is similar in the case of virtual environments. To disable the extension, let's click Settings and More on the right side of the browser. Select Extensions, locate and disable the UiPath Studio using the toggle bar. Let's open the Keep the RPA Challenge website ready for automation by providing the URL and click Movie Search tab. OCR depends on screen resolution and text size to scan the image correctly and convert it into a text. Therefore, let's check our screen resolution and size. In our example, we have set the text size to 100% and display resolution to 1920 by 1080. Let's see how this works. To start, we'll create a new process and name it OCR Input Output Methods. Let's add a description and click Create. As we can see, the studio uses the modern design experience by default. But this lesson focuses on the classic design experience. So, let's change the experience to classic design by navigating to the project settings and disabling the modern design. As a best practice, let's update our packages and remove the dependencies that we don't need for this project. We want to get information from the movie search page. Because the UI elements aren't recognized, we want to base our automation on stable images, which will reliably have the same positions. In our case, we'll use the Find button to base our automation as the Find button has a fixed position. Let's add an Image Exists activity and indicate the Find button, since we are confident that it'll keep its position. This activity checks if an image is found within the specified UI element before the timeout expires and outputs the result to a Boolean variable. Now, we'll create an output variable and name it FindImageExists. We will also rename the sequence and ImageExists activity. We'll add the variable in the Found field of the Output section. Next, we'll build our courses of action, depending on whether the image was found. Let's add an If activity. Inside the Condition field, let's enter the Boolean variable FindImageExists that we just created. We'll add two log message activities, one inside the Then block and the other inside the Else block. The Then block executes if the condition is true, and the Else block executes if the condition is false. Under the Then block, we'll set log level to Info and enter the message the Find image is present, and under the Else block, we'll set the log level to Info and enter the message the Find image is not present. Let's see how we did so far by running the workflow. As we can see in the output panel, we have our confirmation. The Find image is present. Awesome! The next step in our process is to search for a movie using the Find button. We'll use the native Citrix recorder to automate this, as we are imitating to work in a Citrix environment. Native Citrix is a recording tool used to record activities for desktops and apps that are virtualized through Citrix technology. Okay, in the Design menu, let's go to Recording and select Native Citrix. Now we know that the Find button exists, and we also know that the search bar will always be in the same relative position to the Find button. With the Citrix recording, we'll use OCR to find the text that represents the label of our button. And then we'll find the search bar by clicking in the position relative to the button. Inside the recorder, let's select Text, Mouse, and Click. Now click the area within the movie search page since the whole page is seen as one UI element. We'll click OK on the pop-up that tells us to install the UiPath extension, and it takes us to the documentation window. As we don't want to enable the extension, we'll ignore this and close the documentation window. Within the Screen Scraper wizard, we can see that some text was recognized using the Microsoft OCR engine. Let's type Find in uppercase inside the search text field and notice that there are 3 OCR engines available. We'll go with the default one, which is Microsoft OCR. We'll click Test Click button to verify if the Find text is found from the data extracted by the Microsoft OCR. We've found the text. Otherwise, we'd have received an error saying Object Reference not set to an instance of an object. This error may occur sometimes because the OCR may not be able to scrape the data correctly. In such situations, try to verify your screen resolution and size. You can also try with different OCR engines and adjust the scale value. Next, we need to click in a position relative to the identified text to access the search bar. Let's click Set Mouse Position and click the search bar. We'll click Indicate a point on the screen and select an area inside the search bar. Okay, we're back to the screen scraping wizard. Let's select Finish and then click Save and Exit within the native Citrix recorder. After renaming the activities generated by the recorder, let's move the native Citrix simulation sequence inside the Then block of the If activity. Let's update the Attach Window selector. We'll select Indicate on Screen, and instead of the browser page content, we'll indicate the entire browser. Next, we'll edit the selector. Remove what we don't need, like the class attribute. We'll validate the change and click OK. Note that you'll learn more about the selectors in the upcoming courses. For the next step, let's add a Type Into activity and set the text property to a movie name called The Lord of the Rings. The last thing our process needs to do is click the Find button. Let's add a Click Image activity and indicate a screenshot of the Find button. Click Image activity searches for an image and clicks it. Okay, we're done. Let's save and then run the workflow. Great! It works just as expected. That was all for this demo. We simulated the working of OCR method by disabling the Studio extension from the Edge browser and automated a simple movie search task in the RPA Challenge website. Try to use the OCR method to automate a simple Google search in a Chrome browser instance that runs without the UiPath extension installed. Thank you for watching. Until next time, happy automation!